Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630. WMAL.
7:37 on WMAL, Thursday morning. Brian Neiman, Brian Wilson with you. We're hitting the road tomorrow.
Yeah, we are. We're going to be out on the road tomorrow. And, in fact, we'll be taking the show out on the road in the Commonwealth of Virginia every Friday in October with the WMAL Mornings on the Mall Swing State Road Show. Tomorrow, we'll be at the Metro 29 Diner at 4711 Lee Highway in Arlington. I hear good things about this place. So the show will begin, of course, as it always does, at 5 a.m., but the doors open at 7. And you know what? I'm pretty sure, even though they talk about a worldwide shortage of bacon, I think you could probably get some bacon there.
I hope so.
A good cup of coffee. And by the way, we'll talk politics. We'd love to shake your hand. We'd love to meet you face-to-face. And, let's just have breakfast and talk some politics.
Yeah, we should do that. The big debate last night, Mitt Romney and Barack Obama on the stage. I believe it was only the second time they have been either in the same room together. I think they were at the Gridiron Dinner back in 2004. So it's very rare that these two ever, get together. So it was fascinating, just that, the body language of them two standing right there next to each other. Mitt Romney used Joe Biden's words last night on more than one occasion, talking about the middle class getting buried. Listen to Mitt Romney from last night.
Under the president's policies, middle-income Americans have been buried. They're just being crushed. Middle-income Americans have seen their income come down by $4,300. At the same time, gasoline prices have doubled under the president. Electric rates are up. Food prices are up. Health care costs have gone up by $2,500 a family. Middle-income families are being crushed.
So I think Republicans are very, very happy this morning with the performance of Mitt Romney. As one person said, he was better than I could have ever hoped he would be. However, having said that, and the consensus is that Mitt Romney won the debate last night, how big of a difference does it make as we move forward to November 6th?
Well, the phone lines are open at 1-888-630-9625. Let's go to Deborah in Silver Spring. Deborah, good morning. You're on with Brian and Brian. What do you think?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
I think Governor Romney did a really good job, especially with working through the differences between what he did with health care in Massachusetts and Obamacare. However, I'm bracing myself for the Obama camp. President Obama hates to be criticized, and he was absolutely humiliated in front of the whole world last night. He was embarrassed, but I guarantee you that he is really, really angry. Once this camp recuperates from last night and regroups, we will see a fury unleashed, and they are capable of anything. I picture his camp like a caged animal backed up against the wall, ready to strike. I say be prepared. I believe President Obama at his camp, especially the mainstream media, are capable of resorting to the most ferocious tactics and strategies to win this election. So rejoice for now. The Governor Romney's camp better be ready.
Yeah, I think you make a very good point, Deborah, because I think that if I'm David Axelrod this morning, and I'm sort of over there licking my wounds about how you got thumped in the first round of the election, and I know that that's going to be the narrative for 2 weeks if something doesn't change it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I give you a day, but then I got to have something to change the discussion. And I he's in there. They do all this opposition research. They got all kinds of stuff. They got stuck back and waiting for the right moment. They're going to come up with something to try to change the narrative. You watch.
Yeah. That 47%, that audio that they got, was that the one thing that they had? Do they have something even bigger up their sleeves than that? Because that obviously did. I think it did make a difference.
On that point, by the way, last night the president didn't make that point, but I'm watching the NBC coverage for a short while, and the first commercial break you see out of the debate was the ad about the 47%.
Well, and people in the Romney camp are saying now they could not believe that the president did not bring that up last night. And I'm kind of surprised he didn't bring it up as well. Perhaps they were thinking that Mitt Romney was going to have a very good, a polished answer to it, and that would diffuse, that comment that Mitt Romney made. I think that Mitt Romney, tried his best, and I think he did a very good, effective job of talking about how much he really does want to help the middle class and fix the middle class. And as the soundbite we played, where he kept on saying how buried the middle class has been over the last 4 years. On David Axelrod, on your point, he was on CNN last night with Candy Crowley, who coincidentally is going to be the moderator of the next debates.
Right.
And Candy Crowley said, come on, you can spin this all you want, but it was a pretty bad night for the president.
There could be something else tomorrow, heaven only knows, but tonight it's a debate that even Democrats have said, what happened to President Obama? Why didn't he show up? He seemed listless. He seemed like he didn't want to be there. And Mitt Romney seemed like he showed up to play, and the president brought his C game. What's going on here?
C game, and I wasn't surprised that Governor Romney gave an energetic performance. He's been practicing since June, and he's a very good debater, particularly when he's on the attack.
All right, so it was a bad night. Let's talk to Fred in Woodbridge. Fred, you're on 105.9 FM and AM 630 WMAL. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. I could have swore I heard Obama say that tens of thousands of teachers had lost their jobs. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, hold it, this is under your administration? Did I mishear that? Did y'all hear that?
I don't remember him saying they lost their job. I know that he wanted to hire a whole bunch of teachers, and I know that Mitt Romney's comments was, well, if we didn't waste money on green energy, we could have hired
2 million teachers.
2 million teachers. So that did come up. I don't recall him saying that teachers lost their jobs, but he may have. Mike in Culpeper, you're on with Brian and Brian. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, Brian. And Brian, nice to talk to you.
You too.
I listen to you guys every morning on my 2.5-hour drive into work.
We appreciate
that.
So one thing I wanted to talk about, well, two things actually, is they were saying this morning on all the news shows and everything that there were no gaffes last night.
Mm-hmm.
But President Obama, when he was first talking about Mitt Romney's tax plan and how he was going to, raise taxes by $5 trillion, or cut taxes by $5 trillion.
Right. It will not raise taxes. Add to the deficit.
Add to the deficit $5 trillion, and then add $2 trillion in new military spending. He said that totaled $8 trillion in new deficit.
Yeah. Was it 8?
That kind of goes back to. Sorry, that just kind of goes back to. I visited, I think, 57 states with one to go.
Yeah.
And then also, as far as zingers go, at the very end, Mitt Romney schooled was supposed to be one of the best constitutional professors around, by their own words, in the Constitution, talking about the Creator, the Bill of Rights, and the 10th Amendment. I
love that.
Which I thought was fantastic, and he needed to do that.
I agree. That was the best point.
It was a strong.
Paul Ryan.
Yeah, it was a strong finish for Mitt Romney. It was a poor finish for Barack Obama.
He sort of rambled around in his last moment.